This is my Mach 7.5 GTI, and in less than 2 weeks I'm taking on a dream road trip to the Nurburgring. But before that happens, I want to break down the full build, every mod, every change, and exactly how much this car has cost me over the past year of ownership. The goal was never to build the fastest or most hardcore GTI out there. It's my daily, so I'm saying that was fun on the road, reliable, and could handle a track day without destroying the brakes. For context, my GTI is a performance pack. That means it comes with the Golf R brakes, an ELSD, and a 7-speed DSG DQ381 gearbox, and also a slight bump in power over the standard GTI. It's already a great platform out of the box, which is why I made sure to get the performance pack version of the GTI. Talking about power, the standard Mach 7 GTI has 230 horsepower, while this one, the performance pack, has 245. Mine, however, has been tuned and now has 350 horsepower and 520 newton meters of torque. It's completely changed how the car drives. The extra torque completely changes how it accelerates, especially in the mid-range, and it feels significantly faster than from factory. Alongside their ECU tune, I also went with their TCU tune, and for me, that might be the better modification. The shifts are faster, it behaves better when you're driving hard, and true manual mode makes the car feel much more engaging to drive. Now you can't put a tune this aggressive on a completely standard GTI. You need to have a couple supporting mods first. The most important of which has to be the downpipe. I went with one from Miltech. This really opens up the exhaust tone, so much that I'm still running the stock catback and I think it sounds quite nice. But I'll let you judge for yourself. After the downpipe, the next key supporting mod is the intake. I went with the integrated engineering intake, mainly because I like the design, but also because it's got one of the loudest induction sounds of all the ones on the market. I also paired this with a turbo inlet elbow and turbo outlet muffler delete, both from integrated engineering, to clear up the restrictive factory plumbing. The final supporting mod was an intercooler. I went with one from DOA8. I also went with their boost pipes. The intercooler core volume is nearly double the stock one, which makes a big difference when you're pushing the car repeatedly. The boost pipes also have better flow than stock, with around a 30% increase. With this kind of power, you've got to think about stopping it and being able to control it going around corners. We'll start with brakes. As this is the performance pack, it comes with the brakes from the more powerful Golf R, so I felt I didn't need to go too extreme here. I've upgraded to Frodo DS2500 pads, front and rear, paired with HEL braided lines and Motul RBF 660 brake fluid. I've also fitted drilled brake discs from VBT, and I know they're not recommended for track, but I think they look quite cool. On top of that, I fitted RS3 brake ducts and removed my fog lights to allow extra air through to the ducts to aid brake cooling. Moving on to handling, I've fitted BC Racing DS coilovers, which use digressive valving and is meant to be one of the recommended ones for track use. They've completely changed how the car feels on the road. Turn-in is sharper, the body roll is noticeably reduced, and the adjustable dampers and ride height allow me to tailor the car depending on how I'm driving it. I've also drilled up my top mounts to make accessing the camber and damper adjustments a lot easier. At the moment, I'm running 3.5 degrees of negative camber in the front and 2.5 in the back. To correct the geometry from lowering the car, I've also fitted roll center correcting ball joints from Super Pro. Tyre-wise, I'm now on Continental Sport Contact 7s, and although I've only had them on for a few hundred miles, they feel noticeably grippier than the Michelin Pilot Sport 5s I was running before. To improve fitment, I've also fitted 20mm spacers, both front and rear, and 80mm racing line stud and nut conversion kit. And to improve traction and reduce wheel hop, I fitted a dog bone insert. On the inside, I've kept things fairly simple for now. I've fitted a P3 gauge for data monitoring, along with bigger shift pedals for better control when I'm driving hard. I've also added Alcantara to the main touch points, like the steering wheel and the DSG selector. There are also a few other smaller touches, like the red GTI logo on my steering wheel and a red start-stop ring, and a small sticker to cover the on sign on the volume knob since it rotates when you change the volume. Oh, and I did remove the rear seats for a bit of weight reduction. On the outside, I've kept stuff fairly OEM plus, going from a Z-Aero wing and diffuser. Originally I did have a front splitter, but I'm sure given the state of the UK roads currently, you can imagine what's happened to that. I've also gone for Golf R mirror caps to add some contrast with the chrome against the black paint. Alongside that, I've added a rear wiper delete and a set of eyelids, just to tidy up the overall look a bit. Nothing too crazy, just enough to make the car look a little more purposeful while still keeping that factory GTI look. And of course, magnetic plates, just to make content like this a bit easier. So, that's the build as it stands today. In total, it's cost me over £7,000, and I'm only halfway through my list. There's still plenty I'd like to do in the future, but for now, the focus is getting the car to Germany and seeing how it performs. In less than 2 weeks, we'll be driving across Europe and finally finding out whether all of these modifications have been worth it. So, if you want to follow along with the journey, make sure you're subscribed. I've also left a spreadsheet in the description with a full breakdown of all the mods with links if anyone's interested. And I'll see you in the next one.